Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be giving you few cents of my opinion, analyzing not as an expert but as someone who pays attention to the energy and body language of all the important people that we are watching pretty much daily, especially in my case. And I know many of you appreciate this and some of you share my opinion, some of you add your opinion, which is great, some of you don't. But what I want to emphasize before we go into the videos, and lots of videos I have for you today, especially from the visit with Starmer and Starmer's visit, Prime Minister of UK and United States, with Donald Trump, questions from the journalist, the level of trolling, how I look at the body language, at the hand gestures, and every other thing. I pay attention to those things. We will end video with the speech that President Putin has given yesterday, I think it was at the meeting of the board of the Federal Security Service of the Russian Federation, which is FSB. FSB, right? Yes, FSB in Russia. So we will end video with this, and he's warning Trump about the danger that Trump will be facing as he wants to bring peace, and he wants to have conversation with Russia, and that's a problem to many. But before we go into all those videos, as well as I have one more article for you, which is describing what this deal that Zelensky will be signing with Trump today, because Zelensky, as you know, is coming to United States today, and that is Friday, 28th of February, the last day of this month. The month just flew like that. And what is this deal about? There is an article from TASS that I will be reading you briefly. And I think those are the videos, but I want to say one thing. I am not here to tell everyone what is true, what is not true. I am here to stimulate your own way of thinking. Some of you are trying to tell me that I'm naive or that I don't see things. You don't know me. You don't know what I can see. You don't know what abilities I have. I also don't know what abilities you have, but I will follow my own heart, my own intuition, and my own instincts, not yours, because that's not how life works. So my place here is just to present you my side of the story, which you might agree with or you might not agree with. But you trying to convince me that what I am seeing is wrong is just a waste of your energy and is not helpful. So we will start with the short clip from UK, as Katy Hopkins, many of you know who she is, calls it Bonkers Britain. So as Starmer was visiting the White House, Washington, meanwhile in London, I mean, what can you say, right? Things could be worse. They could be throwing something on that bus. And like, what is the reaction? I just wonder, like, why no one tried to take this man away? I think they are afraid, right? I turn off the sound because he's shouting, is it yours? Is it yours? And then he's throwing something at another person, stranger. So this is the reality in UK. And we have Starmer. So let's go first to the clip that I started with his whole journey. And that was the moment when he arrived to the White House and Trump has greeted him there. I don't know if you paid attention. I don't think Trump has greeted Macron when Macron arrived. I'm not saying that Starmer is significant to Trump. I think absolutely not. And that visit yesterday just showed that. My point here is this. You cannot believe in everything that you see as it is, as you see it, because it's not. You cannot believe in every word that you hear, that what they say, they mean it. This is a game. We are literally at war still, information war as well. And what I think is happening right now, this side is playing the other side exactly how the other side was trying to play this side. So let's go to the arrival. As you will see, just watch watch when he's arriving. 1 second. I think, yeah, it's right here. So let's watch this together. I will turn off the sound so you can watch. Please focus on Starmer and focus on his little, not so confident boy attitude. You don't see much here when they zoom it closer. Look at his face. Look at his body. Look. Hands, nervousness, pulling the sleeve down. Yes, shaking. Yes. Okay. So I think we have enough of this already. We know. That to me was like, okay, this will set the tone for the entire meeting. So now let's go to the meeting, and this video will have a sound. I will play the sound because it's important. However, before I play this video, I want you to pay attention to the way how he is positioned, Starmer is positioned. Macron was trying to mirror Trump's body language when he was sitting at the, I think it's at the Oval Office. I'm not sure if this is the place in the White House. So he was sitting in almost similar way to Trump while he was trying to look like, you know, he's on the same level. That's another story. But he was trying to have a more, you know, open legs, more open body position. Now, on the contrary to him, we have Starmer. Maybe let me just show you this first, and then I will play with the sound. Okay, so let's look at this. 1 second, everyone. I'm trying to find the video. Right here. Okay. I will remember this. Okay, so first he looks like this, then he sits like this. Okay. When you have crossed legs, it symbolizes something, and I will tell you in a second what it really means. But he was not confident at all until he pulled out this letter from King with invitation for Trump to come and visit Great Britain. So he sits all the way in the very corner of this chair. He's not sitting, like, doesn't occupy the space. He's like limiting himself in the space. And then his confidence comes when he's reading this letter. And actually, I might play this for you. Maybe let me play this for you. So let me mute myself, and you will see what I'm talking about. That's how I record the videos, guys. I know it's not professional to many of you, but this is my way, and I think you appreciate my authenticity. So let me mute myself.
And we have had a very constructive conversation. I'm sure we will today. And of course, our countries have been bound together for a very long time now. The closest alliance, I think, of any two countries when it comes to prosperity and security. And I know that together we will strengthen that even further. And on issues like Ukraine, thank you for changing the conversation to bring about the possibility that now we can have a peace deal. And we want to work with you to make sure that peace deal is enduring. And it's a beautiful happens. And it is my pleasure to bring from His Majesty the King a letter. He sends his best wishes and his regards, of course, but he also asked me to bear this letter and bring it to you. So can I present the letter from the King to you?
Thank you very much. Am I supposed to read it right now?
Yeah, please do.
I will do.
I've got to tell him what your reaction is, so I need to know. I need to know.
He is a great gentleman, a great gentleman.
Okay, so I think you were able to see it, because if I can see it, everyone can see it. So the only power he spent is this freaking letter. And I don't think I have to go back to the moment when Trump was visiting United Kingdom and his meeting with the Queen Elizabeth. And yeah, some of you know what I'm referring to, some of you don't, but that's another story. We will all get there sooner or later. No problem with that. But I want to take you to the moment of trolling. And if you don't see it as a trolling, then I don't know. So let me take you again to the same video. I will mute myself again and find the right spot.
If Ukraine will agree also.
So will you discuss all this as well? Just to follow up on that, if British troops are in Ukraine keeping the peace and get attacked by Russia, will you come to their aid?
If the British people are in Ukraine and they get attacked,
If British soldiers are in Ukraine.
you know, I've always found about the British, they don't need much help. They can take care of themselves very well.
That sounds like
You know what? No, it sounds like it's evasive, but it's not evasive. You know, the British have been incredible soldiers, incredible military, and they can take care of themselves. But if they need help, I'll always be with the British, okay? I'll always be with them. But they don't need help. You look at their career, you have done very well over the years, haven't you? Come
We
here.
have. I'm very proud of our
Come here.
country. And but we've also always been backing each other up between our two countries. That is why this is the greatest alliance for prosperity and security I think the world has ever seen. Whenever necessary, we absolutely backed each other up, and that's at the
Could you
core of
take
the
on Russia by yourselves?
Well,
All right, one or two more. Yes, ma'am?
In his remarks at the Munich Security Conference, Vice President Vance condemned free speech violations in the UK, particularly. Could you respond? What is your
Well,
message?
I have an idea. We have the man right here. Come on. Let's go, JD. We're putting you on stage.
Great. Yeah, look, I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies. But we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension, American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
we've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
We discuss all this.
Okay, so that if you don't see the trolling there, then I don't know what else to tell you. Even JD Vance couldn't stop laughing at a certain moment. But then if you look at Starmer again, when this topic was brought up about the free speech, which he completely does not respect in United Kingdom, his body pulled all the way on the other side of the chair. You know, sometimes people don't realize, and I'm not an expert, but I'm learning this, how much your body actually tells. So even if your mouth is saying one thing, even if your face is saying another, but your body is, you know, it's nervous system. You cannot hide it, how you are reacting to emotions that are stirred within you when you're hearing certain questions, because that put him on the spot, like right there. Also, another aspect is that I don't think this is typical for Trump to do this, what he did with him, like come over here and touch his hand. To me, when I look at Starmer, and I came across those things, that he is not straight, he's gay, and I don't say it's bad to be gay at all, because some people choose different sexual orientation. That's another story. But what I'm saying is he's pretending that he is straight and he's married. And that's why Trump also brought the topic of his wife, and he complimented his wife. So I think, in my opinion, is what he's doing, a lot of people don't pay attention to. He is bringing certain people into the conversation. He's mentioning some certain people. So many of others who are watching this can do the research. We might have another documentary from Candace Owen coming about Starmer and his life, right? Because that's not unusual. This is the way how those so-called elites operate. It's sickening, but it is, you know. Big Mike, all of this is common for them. But anyway, this is just my opinion. Now, let's talk about this deal, guys. What is this deal about that Zelensky is going to sign? So let me take you to the article, and then I take you to another trolling moment about Zelensky, because people think that Trump has dementia. Oh boy, yeah. Okay, so what is this deal about? Zelensky is coming. What he will be signing? Niezawisymaya Gazeta says this is from TASS. Kiev believes it outplayed Washington. The Ukrainian government has approved the signing of a deal on natural resources with the United States. The parties agreed to create a jointly administered investment fund where Ukraine will contribute 50% of its future revenues from the use of natural resources, while the US will invest its own funds. Notably, Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal pointed out that some unfair provisions had been removed from the document, which particularly obliged Ukraine to pay a 500 billion debt to Washington. That's what this Gazeta Niezawismaya notes. Meanwhile, media reports that the accord still contains a provision on the contribution of half of Ukraine's revenues, not only from the extraction of natural resources, but also from the operation of its infrastructure facilities, including ports. And since Washington will certainly play the leading role, the implementation of the deal will ensure US control over key Ukrainian industries. This will particularly help US agricultural holdings to organize supplies of Ukrainian agricultural products through the ports, which could be one of the reasons for them to seek an end of the conflict. As for Zelensky, the agreement is primarily giving him the opportunity to meet with US President Donald Trump and reiterate his request for Washington to join the conflict on Ukraine's side. Stanislav Tkachenko, a professor in the Department of European Studies at the St. Petersburg State University Faculty of International Relations, pointed out. According to him, Kiev's hope that Trump will continue providing military aid to Ukraine based on the Natural Resources Agreement seems improbable. Now, quoting this professor, everything that the US president has been doing, including the decision to actually halt military support for Kiev, confirms his desire to bring an end to the ongoing armed conflict with Russia. Trump views it as someone else's project, started by the previous US administration under Joe Biden. However, he would prefer to ensure a more gradual exit from the conflict, which would contrast with how Biden withdrew from Afghanistan. That's what Tkachenko said. This is why, in the expert words, Washington agreed to strike a deal with Ukraine in order to declare economic success at the next phase and emphasize the need to end military actions. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian state will lose all subjectivity and ability to control its own economy. This actually suggests a return to 19th century colonialism, the analyst emphasized. So, interesting take on this. What do you think, guys? Some numbers and some explanation of what this deal is really about. Do you think this is the case? Now, let me take you to the trolling moment, since we've mentioned Zelensky and this article. Let's play this video now.
Going to happen. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, you talked about having common ground with Keir Starmer, but there are things you disagree on as well. You described Zelensky as a dictator. He describes President Putin as a dictator. Do you see that as a problem?
The relationship between President Zelensky and President Putin is not a good one. You've noticed, right? It's not a good one. It's not a good relationship. And we're going to have to try and work something out. Sometimes that happens. I get along with both. I have a very good relationship with President Putin. I think I have a very good relationship with President Zelensky. And now we're doing the deal, and we're going to be in there. We're going to be actually in there, digging our hearts out. And hopefully, we need the rare earth, and we have some here, but we don't have enough. Our economy is very strong, and we need a lot of things that in some cases we don't have here. So I think we're going to have a very good relationship, but the relationship between them is not the best.
Mr. President, do you still think that Mr. Zelensky is a dictator?
Did I say that? I can't believe I said that. Next question.
You know what? I can't believe that some people actually take it as he really does not believe that he didn't say it. This is major trolling. Major trolling. So one more thing I want to take you to. This is the speech from President Putin that I have mentioned in the beginning of this video, and we will watch it in full length. It's translated into English already. And let's hear what Vladimir Putin has to say about the danger that Trump might be facing as he wants to establish peace. So let's play this clip.
Dear participants of the FSB meeting. Dear participants of the FSB meeting. Today you see, we all see, how rapidly the world and the situation in the world are changing. In this regard, I would like to note that the first contacts with the new American administration inspire certain hopes. There is a reciprocal attitude to work on restoring interstate relations, on gradually resolving the colossal volume of accumulated systemic and strategic problems in the world architecture. And it was these problems that at one time provoked both the Ukrainian and other regional crises. It is important that our current American partners demonstrate pragmatism, a realistic view of things. They reject many stereotypes, the so-called rules, the messianic and ideological cliches of their predecessors, which, in fact, led to the crisis of the entire system of international relations. And, in fact, you and I saw this too, how the previous administration began to destroy the Western community itself from within. This is evidenced by the problems in the economy of many Western countries and in domestic politics. We all see this. This is especially evident in the course of domestic political events in these countries. Today's dynamic changes in the international landscape are to a large extent the result of the courage and fortitude of our armed forces, our heroes. It was they who, with their valor, their daily victories, created the conditions for the beginning of a serious dialogue. A dialogue on a fundamental solution to both the Ukrainian and other crises, including, of course, we always talk about this. We have never refused to have a dialogue by peaceful means. About creating a system that will truly ensure balance and mutual consideration of interests. A system of indivisible European and global security. And for the long term. When the security of some cannot be ensured at the expense or to the detriment of the security of others. And certainly not at our expense. Not at Russia's expense. We understand that not everyone is happy with the resumption of Russian-American contacts. A part of the Western elites is still determined to maintain instability in the world, and these forces will try to disrupt or compromise the dialogue that has begun. We see this with you. We need to take this into account and use all the possibilities of diplomacy and special services to thwart such attempts. And most importantly, as before, it is important for us to firmly protect our national interests, sovereignty, life and freedoms of our citizens from any threats. In this regard, the FSB must continue its systematic work in all relevant areas. And first of all, of course, this is the fight against international terrorism. I will note that over the past year, the number of terrorist crimes has increased, and more than half of them are planned and organized by Ukrainian special services and their curators. The FSB, other agencies and law enforcement agencies, in coordination with the National Anti-Terrorism Committee, must use their available forces and means as effectively as possible. Particular attention must be paid to preventive measures, increasing the anti-terrorist security of military and industrial facilities, life support systems, public facilities, as well as energy and transport infrastructure. Work must also be continued to strengthen the anti-terrorist potential of FSB units in the Donbass and Novorossiya regions. I would like to emphasize that it is these FSB units that are doing a lot today to neutralize terrorist and sabotage groups and to collect intelligence data on the enemy. Serious additional measures must be taken to protect the state border. It is necessary to further increase the density of border coverage in potentially dangerous areas, in cooperation with army units, units of the Russian Guard and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and local authorities to ensure the safety of people in border settlements. It is necessary to decisively and aggressively combat extremism and terrorism, suppress any attempts to disunite and split our society, to pit representatives of different nationalities and religions against each other. We understand very well. This is one of the lines of attack on Russia, on our multinational and multi-confessional state. Counterintelligence agencies face important tasks. Regular reports and dispatches show that the activity of foreign intelligence services during the special military operation has increased, and their level of technical equipment has improved. This means that it is necessary to seriously strengthen counterintelligence cover for military and strategic information related to state and military management, the creation of new weapons, as well as simply advanced technologies in other industries. But I draw your attention, as for civilian technologies and developments, this should not be done in a template manner, but calmly, competently, and intelligently, so that the achievements of our scientists are not put in safes under the heading, but so that they are quickly introduced into production, used both in our market and in increasing our high-tech exports. We have talked about this, and many of you have probably seen it, including at the recent forum on the development of chemistry and the industry of new materials. At the same time, of course, we must protect our innovations from theft and unfair use by our competitors. Dear colleagues, traditionally, an important area of your work is ensuring economic security. I have said more than once, and I want to repeat it again today, that protecting the legitimate rights of domestic businesses, combating crimes in the financial and banking sector is one of the foundations of the competitiveness of our national jurisdiction, a favorable investment climate in Russia. This is extremely important. More active work should be carried out to combat corruption. The implementation of state defense orders and national projects, the promotion of long-term federal and regional programs should be in the field of your constant attention. I will also note that as digital technologies develop, the number of cyber attacks on the domestic information infrastructure is growing, including on official government websites, resources and services of state corporations and departments. Moreover, such crimes are systemic, multifaceted and multivector in nature. That is, they cause damage to the state, business, and citizens. Improving the security of the domestic information infrastructure, looking for new methods to neutralize cyber threats is the task of your department, among others. Dear colleagues, this May we will celebrate the 80th anniversary of the Great Victory. And during the celebrations, congratulating our veterans frontline soldiers. Of course, with gratitude, we will also remember the heroes of our domestic special services, intelligence officers, employees of special departments, SMERSH fighters, border guards, who made a truly invaluable contribution to the defeat of Nazism and their accomplices, Banderites, members of the OUN, and all sorts of traitors, collaborators of all stripes. Modern history also knows many examples of genuine valor and self-sacrifice of our fighters, our comrades. I am convinced that the current generation of defenders of the motherland, including FSB employees, will sacredly preserve the traditions of their predecessors, those who defended the interests of the fatherland during the times of the Russian Empire and in the Soviet era and in modern Russia, who protected the security of our country and our people. Today, at this annual board meeting of the Federal Security Service, you will discuss a wide range of professional issues and outline priorities for the future. I would like to note that all the tasks set last year were generally solved at a high level, and the specific results of your activities show that the FSB is a strong, reliable, and effective link in the national security system. Your specialized units acted promptly and competently. You defended the sovereignty and national interests of Russia, the rights of our citizens. You reliably protected the constitutional order. You fought terrorism, extremism, crime. You conducted complex counterintelligence operations. I would like to thank you, dear comrades, all personnel of the FSB of Russia for their professionalism, determination, and dedication. Special work.
So guys, if you're wondering why I'm playing so much of videos with President Putin, is because you will not see those videos often, if ever. And I know some of you already are familiar with those channels like the Russian news, but there are some viewers who come across my channel and they never seen it, and they would like to hear the full speech from the person, you know, instead of just short clips that are usually taken out of the context. So that's why I decided to play that long of those videos. And like President Putin said, not everyone is happy with Russia and United States having the discussions and talks again. And I have to go to two more things I almost forgot to mention, everyone. So still about the body language, all right? By the way, I don't know if some of you remember, when I was in Moscow, I think I was stopped by, was it FSB? Some of my Russian viewers will know who stopped me when I was recording a video across from Kremlin, and they were asking me a bunch of questions. I'm not sure if it was FSB or other security officer, but I want to show you this. As I analyze this body language, I wanted to know if man sits with crossed legs, what does it mean? So what does it mean when a guy crosses his legs, like Starmer did next to Trump? It says this: in many cultures, body language conveys a significant meaning. Crossing one's legs can be interpreted as a closed or defensive posture, suggesting disinterest or disengagement from the conversation. Well, maybe I have some instinct here about those things. One more thing. When President Trump and Starmer showed up for the press conference, I don't know what he was doing, Starmer, but he was keep on taking notes and circulating on the piece of paper over and over again. So I want to play this for you. And let me tell you, if this is a sign of confidence, or is he at school and taking notes? I don't know what he's doing, but let's watch this together. I will not put the sound because you don't need the sound for this. A question has been asked. Let me see where I have this. I have so many videos, guys, open that just bear with me. Yes, right here. Okay, so let's look at this. This lady, this journalist, asked the question. The sound is off, so just to look at the Starmer's taking notes. Okay, he's writing his answer. Trump is answering. This one keeps on writing. Okay, I don't know what he's writing. And then he's circulating. What is he doing, guys? Can you please tell me? I mean, he was taking those notes like almost with every question that was asked. Like he writes a lot. I don't know what is this. But that circulating thing was interesting. Like very, very nervous. Very, very nervous. Let's wait because then he stops writing. Okay, again, cross this, cross this. You know, when I look at all, I'm listening and then I'm looking at them, it's like a lot to take in by your brain, trust me. But yeah. Yeah, you see? He writes a lot, like, oh, done? Yes, good. Okay, nervous, check again, okay, all good. Yeah, yeah, correct. One more thing, this, no, this, yes. What the heck? And now, okay, it's your time. All right, I have my notes. Oh my goodness. So this is exactly how I feel about that visit. Tomorrow's video, I will have another visit, right? Zelensky to analyze. That will be something. And we will end this video with a comment of the day. Oh boy, let's see. The comment of the day from my yesterday's video. Where do I have this? 1 second. Here we go. My yesterday's video about the double. You remember I mentioned the double, Zelensky's double? You know, Putin has doubles, Trump has doubles, pretty much everyone has doubles. I don't think Starmer has double. Starmer, I don't think he has double. Like, he's on his own, that's about it. But this comment is from R.V. Emersoni, it's a cool name, who says, it's a Zelensky double speaking. The double does not have the emotional engagement that Zelensky has. There are rumors that Zelensky is having another nervous breakdown. His emotions are dark and volatile. Yeah, because he's not stable. Nervous system screwed up big time, right? No surprise. Brain, what goes first when you take the substance? Brain or nervous system? Or at the same time, it's a line disaster for both. Anyway, that's all I have for you. A little different video again. I know some of you appreciate this because it just presents the different angles of the current events, everyone. Don't take what you see or what you hear as it is. Everything you have to, this is like, you know, Bruce Lee kind of style. You have to know how to move the energy and where the focus goes and what's important. For me, I'm learning all the time. So we see how far away I am from the truth. Maybe not that far, who knows? That's it for today. All the links are down below in the description box. I really appreciate if you hit the like if this video brings you any value. And you subscribe to my channel and leave the comments down below. If you choose to support my work, the best way is to become my Patreon or my local supporter, or by donating on PayPal or buying me a coffee. I also have Instagram, it's AniaK_44. Please follow me there if you use Instagram. You can see more personal side of me. And with this being said, lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Bye, everyone.